Greetings. I was just thinking about a friend of mine and this really great story that I tell a lot of people. And I think it was oddly encouraging to me. So I'm going to share it with you guys. It's about my friend Vixen. That's what we called her. And she was far from a vixen, great fun. We shared a tremendous sense of humor, and I remember many, many gut laughs. She was an amazing cook. Um, she was the fun of the party. You could always count on her for coming out something that was unexpected, but very, very delightful. When we became friends, our both of our daughters were in a preschool together, so we were friends for over 30 years. And the first time the four of us got together, we went to a comedy club together. And her husband, my husband, and the four of us went to this comedy club. I'm not exactly sure. There's differences in stories and memories on how we ended up with this. But at that comedy club, you're going to see my expertise in all this digital stuff. So, anyway, we ended up with this little pea pod. And it was like a dog toy or something, a squeaker deal. And so we decided that whoever had the pea pod was the one that would be planning the next outing that we had together. So, if you had it, then you knew you needed to call them and you needed to get something planned. So, when Vixen was in her latter days, she had pancreatic cancer. Long story, and maybe I'll talk about it someday. I don't know if I feel led to do so. Anyway, in the latter days, I would go and visit. And I remember us sitting there one day, and I told her, "Could you please promise me two things?" I said, "Promise me that you'll live until you're not." And the second one, I told her, once you get over there, could you give me like a wave, an all clear, some sort of a message if you can get it to me? And I said, I don't know, you know, obviously neither one of us knew what the logistics were there, what the rules were, the outline. But she said that she would. And the first one she did, she lived getting right into home plate, and she did her best to be a part of everything, and just like I expected her to do. Anyway, so I was over in Seattle getting my T cells harvested for the CAR T, and got the sad phone call from her husband that we had lost her. Um, anyway, I, I obviously we were devastated. And then about a year later, she had wanted to stay alive for two things: her birthday in July and her anniversary, which I think was in January, February. And she made it to her birthday, but didn't quite make it. She passed away in September, so she didn't make it to their anniversary. So there was a week before this happened. She was heavily on my mind, and actually at that time I didn't know when their anniversary was. And she was really on my mind for about a week. And I do, you periodically, when you lose somebody like that, you miss them. And often it'll be around, a certain date, but like I said, I didn't know about their anniversary. So I'm walking into the dry cleaners, and not a big deal day. I look down and I see this laying on the asphalt, waiting for me, I'm sure. And I knew it was her. I took a picture of it and I sent it to her husband and I sent it to my husband, so the three of us know what that meant. And her husband sends me a reply. He goes, "It's her." He goes, "Today is our anniversary." And I knew then that it was her as well. And not like I didn't know it. That how many times was the last time you found a pea pod laying down on the ground like that? I mean, the other pea pod was the first one I had seen of its kind, and now here's number two. So anyway, a while later, I had my little granddaughter in her car seat, and I was taking her someplace, I can't recall what. And she spots the pea pod, and she asked me if she could hold it, and I handed it to her, and she looked at that and she says, "Can I have it?" And I said, "Well, honey, I think that it's my friend gave it to me to give to her husband, and if he doesn't want it, then you can have it." Well, I kind of forgot about it, and I did end up giving it to him, give it to her husband at the memorial service. And as an anniversary gift for the two of them. Anyway, um, a little while later, my granddaughter, the one that had picked up the pea pod, she likes to go through my phone and look at the pictures. And she stops at the picture that was taken of me and my friend Vixen. And she shows it to me. And she said, Mom, that's what they call me. She says, Mom, this is your friend that gave you that pea pod, isn't it? Now she has never met my friend. And so I wanted you to know that story because I want you to know that there are things like that that do happen. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my friend Vixen reached across the from over yonder and gave me a wave and all clear. So anyway, I think it's a very touching, really, really interesting story. So I hope it does the same for you guys that it does for me. And I hope that you're doing well today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be talking to you soon.